Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's episode review. This time we will be going over episode 4 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's. I do apologize about the delay. Just had a very long weekend, kind of took another mental break from YouTube. I know times are kind of crazy right now, so I hope everyone is in good health and, most importantly, in good spirits. I know things in the world are just very, very nuts right now. I do want to start with something that's in the video title, and it has to do with a potential hiatus. Personally, I believe this is inevitable. Some weird stuff happened this morning. Nico, a website over in Japan, announced that there was going to be a 5-week hiatus in regards to Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's. I don't think we knew what episode this was going to be after, and so YUGIOH Organization reported on it, and then about 20 minutes after YUGIOH Organization wrote the article, Nico updated their website and removed this comment. So at the moment, there is no definitive announcement of a hiatus when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's. I think it's inevitable. For how long the hiatus will be, when it's going to start, we have no idea. So everything is really up in the air right now, but I do promise you, when we get definitive word on a hiatus or a break for Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I will be reporting it. I will be making a video on it as soon as that happens. But at the moment, I know a lot of people probably think that a 5-week break is coming up. At the moment, that announcement has been rescinded via Nico, so we will have to wait and see what happens in regards to a COVID-19 related hiatus for 7's. It's going to happen. It's happening with every single anime, and when it does officially get announced, I will make a video covering it. So I just wanted to start with that since I know that was the news that kind of broke this morning, but let's just get into the episode. Episode 4, the final duel between the main group of 4 characters that we have seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's. Probably the final duel where, although this duel I will say did not really feel that tutorial-like. It did not feel that introductory-like. You know, you still had comments that Roman made or that Gakuto's 2 assistants made, which, by the way, Gakuto's girl assistant, the vice president of the student council, does share a voice actress with Ghost Girl Emma Besso. So if you noticed a similarity, even though I thought Emma's voice actress did a very good job of playing the 2 characters. Obviously, Emma is a very seductive, older character, and then you have the VP of the student council, I cannot remember her name, who's obviously a much younger, a much more strict and stern character, and I thought she voiced her very well and very differently, but I did notice a bit of a similarity, and if you noticed one too, that is the reason why. And so you had, you know, the characters explaining the effects and the difference between tribute summoning and special summoning, and that's how 7's Road Magician was able to get on the field and break Yame Ruler's effect, or get over Yame Ruler's effect of not allowing any tribute summons to occur for any level 7 monsters, but that kind of always happens with Yu-Gi-Oh! So it didn't really feel that out of the ordinary, but this was the final duel of the core 4, as I've been calling them, the main 4 characters that we have gotten, and I think there's going to be a little more variety now when it comes to the dueling matchups, starting with the very next week. So the whole premise of this episode is ROOK has a few intentions here. He basically wants Yuga and Gakuto to duel because he wants rush duels to be allowed on school premises. He wants Gakuto to endorse rush duels, thinking that that will increase the popularity of rush duels. And I have to tell you, the complete 180 that ROOK subtly did in this show and on his thoughts about rush duels is hilarious, because in episode 2, literally 2 episodes ago, he was dueling Yuga, and if he beat Yuga, the deal was that rush duels were going to be kept a secret. Rush duels were going to be swept under the rug, never to be heard about or talked about for the very foreseeable future. And now that rush duels seemingly have blown up in terms of popularity, and that Goha is, interestingly enough, not targeting the group that has created rush duels, ROOK's mindset has completely changed. Now he wants to make YouTube videos promoting rush duels. Now he wants to make music and make a music video promoting rush duels where Roman is going to be the lead singer, which the humor there was incredible. Oh my god, Gakuto singing a cappella was one of the worst moments of my life. His singing his singing was absolutely horrific. And I read something that his voice actor is actually a very good singer. So I read an excerpt from an interview a couple weeks ago that his voice actor said he had to purposely sing bad to keep in line with Gakuto's character. And my oh my, did he do a fantastic job of that. Gakuto's singing was absolutely horrendous, but it was also hilarious. And another interesting thing that happened, it might not mean too much, it might just be there for comedic purposes, but you know me, always looking into things. Roa Roman is the band that Roman is in, and there were a couple times where I think ROOK or Yuga said something about being tone deaf, Gakuto being tone deaf. It might have actually been Kaizo, Yuga's robot, that said Gakuto was tone deaf as he was singing, which he absolutely was. And Roman had a reaction to that. And then a little later on, ROOK said something about Roman possibly being tone deaf as to why she doesn't want to sing. And Roman kind of like stormed away and got very flustered and embarrassed, as if that is the true reason. And I wonder if that's going to tie in to her relationship with her brother. Maybe she tried to be like a singer and a guitarist, and her brother, we don't know the dynamic that they're going to have. Maybe her and her brother are not on that good of terms. Maybe her brother is a little bit manipulative and a little bit of a bully towards her, and said, hey, I'm a good singer, you're a horrible singer, I'm going to sing, we're going to do this band together. And he kind of forced his way into the band, because everyone knows who Roman is, yet besides knowing that Roa is a character, and knowing that Roa is her brother, and knowing that Roa is part of the band based on the band name, we have heard nothing about Roa Kirishima. So clearly Roman is the popular one of the band, at least from the little bit of information that we've gotten so far. So I wonder if Roa kind of forced his way in, and he's like not really liked by many people, and maybe gained entry into the band by criticizing Roman singing, and that really was a shot to her self-confidence, because every time the word tone deaf was brought up, Roman seemed like personally insulted or kind of shocked that that term was brought up. So I wonder if that's going to play in to the dynamic that her and her brother could have. Again, could just be throwaway lines, might not mean much, but we'll see. Sevens has kind of done a lot of subtle things, like a subtle thing for comedic purposes that they did in this episode. Gakuto is eating, I believe they were rice balls, they might not have been, but he's eating his food, and this is when they're trying to convince him to duel, and a shot goes by, there's two pieces of food on his plate, and the very next shot, Yuga and ROOK are eating the two pieces that were on his plate. Gakuto says nothing. Roman just has an embarrassed, grossed out look on her face, like an annoyed look, and it never gets addressed. And that's something that I'm sure a lot of people watching completely missed, because it was so subtle that ROOK and Yuga literally took the last two pieces of food off of Gakuto's plate and ate it without even asking him. There has been a lot of really subtle humor, and I think the humor has been really, really good in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s for the most part. Another thing that I loved, Roman's outfits, by the way. Roman really does kick ass. I really am in love with Roman's character. I like her character, and I like Rook's character, and I really like Yuga's character so much in the early going of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. And again, the show reminds me a lot of Zexal, but I didn't really relate. I didn't really fall in love with a lot of the Numbers Club, the early characters of Zexal. It's the complete opposite with Sevens, where these four characters, I really am enjoying them in the very early stages. But there's another great scene where Roman, ROOK, and Yuga are sitting on the bench watching over the music video, like you do on YouTube. Literally, I mean, this is just, it's such a good, like, I relate to these characters so much because I make content. Now, I don't get as many likes as Roman does or these kids get, but I still get way more than I anticipate, so thank you for that. But right after you upload a video, you always watch it. At least I usually watch it just to make sure everything looks good, everything looks okay, and that's what they're doing. They uploaded the video, and they're watching it to make sure everything looks good and to kind of enjoy it a little bit, the piece of work that they've created. And Yuga literally creates a like bot. He literally gets his robot to spam like the video, and even Roman is like, what's even the point of that? And it never gets addressed, but we know as adults that the point of that, at least people that are familiar with YouTube, which is probably a lot of people, is likes and dislikes are both interactive tools. And so YouTube sees that and promotes your video more. That's why a lot of YouTubers are always like, oh, don't forget to like and subscribe, because the more likes or dislikes, they both, I think, have the same exact metrics as far as I know. The more interaction that a video gets, the more likes that a video gets, the more likely YouTube is to promote that video on other people's recommended pages. And so Roman is like, oh, what's even the point of this? And Yuga creates a like bot, which you can buy likes. It's not good because if you get caught doing that, buying likes, buying subscribers, buying views, you can have your whole channel shut down. But then again, this video is probably going to get shut down because it's a video promoting Rush Duel. So the whole way that they speak to social media and the whole way that they speak to YouTube and its importance is so spot on. I mean, it really is so ingenious. And at the same time, these are kids that don't know better. So Yuga spam liking a video, sure, that's not allowed, but he's a middle schooler, so he might not even know that. And Roman questioning what is even the point of that? The point of it is to get more people to watch the video. That's why you always ask for likes, or a lot of people do. So the way that they've played on social media, most specifically YouTube, I think has been genius. I think it's been so well done. And so we're going to get to the duel. Before we do that, ROOK has a great scene where he's envisioning himself. There have been a couple scenes with ROOK where this genuinely, like, scary, creepy music takes over, and I'm waiting for the scene that's actually very unnerving where this scary music hits, because the last time they played this music, I think it was during Rook's backstory, which really wasn't as creepy as the music played it out to be. But it looks like Rook is almost acting or picturing himself as a dictator over all of these students, being the Goha Council president. That's the role that he wanted to take over. And then he's thinking like, oh, well, maybe I need to be treasurer first. Maybe I need to be chairman first. You know, maybe I need to get the experience before I reach student council president. But as he's envisioning this, the music kind of fades out. Roman and Yuga just walk away. They leave the scene. Then Rook is just left to his own devices, as we have seen many times throughout this show. So the humor between, especially Rook and Roman, I feel like they have an incredible dynamic together. We finally get to the duel. And the duel was interesting. Gakuto was not dueling incredibly well in the early going. He was playing very defensive. It was almost like he did not want to summon Yami Ruler, which, by the way, the pun that he used with Yami Ruler, Roman was right on the money. These puns are horrible. They were. But they were good horrible. It's like, ugh. For me, when a pun makes you go, oh, God. The pun did its job, and both of the times Gakuto brought up Yami Ruler and used it in a punny sense, that was my genuine reaction. After a couple turns go by, though, Gakuto starts to feel the flow a little bit. He starts to really get into the duel, and he eventually does summon Yami Ruler, and the hesitation might have been stemming from the fact that he did not want rush duels to be banned at school. There might be a piece of him very deep down, I believe that's what it was, that knows how fun rush duels are, that knows how enjoyable rush duels are, and that knows how fun it is to hang out with Yuga, Rook, and Roman. I mean, he's made some serious friend connections outside of this very rigorous job of being the student council president, and rush duels gives him that escapism where he can have some fun and not follow the structural day of school and of being, again, the student council president. But eventually he gets over that fear and he just wants to have a genuine duel with Yuga. He takes the cards for himself. He thinks he's locked Yuga out of using Sevens Road Magician, but we see Sevens Road Witch make her debut. Now, we've known about this monster since pre-Sevens. It got released to us probably back in like March or February, one of those 2 months before Sevens began, and a lot of us felt that this was the Dark Magician girl of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. One of my favorite monsters design-wise. It has direct synergy with Sevens Road Magician, very similarly to how Dark Magician Girl gets powered by Dark Magicians being in the grave. And Sevens Road Witch, thanks to her effect, is able to special summon Sevens Road Magician. And because it's not a tribute summon, Yami Ruler's effect does not lock it out of play. Sevens Road Magician gets on the field, defeats Gakuto's ace, and Yuga ultimately wins the duel. Gakuto agrees to the terms and steps down, even though Yuga gave him the choice, and Yuga was like, hey, Rook was in it for his own selfish gain. Yuga just says things as they are, which I actually really do respect about him. He was like, yeah, Rook was just in it for his selfish ways. You don't have to not be the student council president. I just wanted to duel you. I just wanted to have a duel and have fun. And Yuga's, again, his mindset and his heart in the right place early on in this show. But Gakuto, man of his word, and I gained a lot of respect for him. Gakuto actually steps down. They have another election. It's Gakuto versus ROOK, and Gakuto ends up winning. And probably the best part about it is the last 30 seconds of this episode, ROOK was so salty. He was genuinely so annoyed that he didn't win. Normally with Yu-Gi-Oh! Or with anime, you'd have the losing character at least be like, hey, it was a good fight, it was a good race, you ran a good election, you won fair and square. But ROOK was genuinely, as you would expect a 6th grader to be, salty and annoyed and a bit of a sore loser that he did not come out victorious. So ROOK's personality, honestly, all 4 of these personalities mesh, I just feel so well. And I just can watch the show and just kind of have a laugh and enjoy some hopefully good story and plot telling, and that will hopefully continue as the show now gets more unpredictable. Again, all 4 of these characters have had their introductory debut duels, and the dueling matchups should offer some more variety, which I am very excited to bear witness to. But guys, that is my review on episode 4 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's Gakuto vs. Yuga. I really hope you all enjoyed, and definitely leave your thoughts down below in regards to a potential hiatus and in regards to this episode. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons Alexa Baker, Glen McGookin, Jorge Carrillo, Horace Maye, Goosey Q, Vincent Van Der Veen, Panther J, Smith620, Jorge Leon, Blue Maiden 28, Jarrett Buller, Gabe G, and Aura Dragon, and to my Diamond tier patrons Jesse Wood, Latrell Smith, Sean, and Melinda Phantom, and to my Egyptian God tier patron, Syn Cloud. Thank you so much to everyone who is a patron and to everyone who is a YouTube channel member. You guys help me out tremendously, and I would not be able to do this without all of you. And thank you to everyone who just watches these videos. You guys really are Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything. Thank you all so much for watching. I will talk to you down below, and I hope you have an amazing day.